Hi, my name is Daniella Rudoff, and today I'd like to talk to you about growing in love versus falling in love. We're all very familiar with the term falling in love, and for some people that happens, and other people it doesn't. And the question is, what does that mean, growing in love? That's my term. So I call it growing in love because sometimes, in the many cases of couples who I've mentored throughout the dating process, what I find is that the man might be immediately enamored by the woman, love the fact that he's dating her, attracted physically, emotionally, and she's the perfect girl for him. So he's happy and he thinks, you know what, she's the one. And it happens immediately for some guys. So what about the woman? It has to be mutual for both of them to be happy. So what I find for the woman, that what happens is that she might be having a nice time, like this can work, but she doesn't allow herself to emotionally get involved so much because she's nervous. She's nervous that everything should work out on her checklist. She's nervous because she wants to see that, first of all, that religious level, that works out for her. In the religious world, there's different hashkafot, different hashkafas, so that they should match on that level as well. An age bracket, for some people that's an issue, not an issue, whatever it is, the location, all these different things that are very factual, and she is checking that out in her mind. She is very mindful of, is this working for me in my life? Is this a good match for me? And she's guarding herself from falling in love, that classic allowing herself to feel the emotions, an attachment, an emotional connection to this guy. So what does that mean then? Should you continue dating the person or not? Because you need to have this emotional connection in order to build and blossom a beautiful relationship. So this is what I suggest. First of all, when I'm discussing the dates with each person, with each woman in this case, actually, when I speak to the guy and to the woman, I'm speaking to the guy and he's like on cloud nine and she's like, this is good, but, so I'm like, break up with him if you're really not happy, because I don't like to force anybody and pressure anybody into any relationships, because that would not be good. I'm only here for happy relationships, but I'm also listening. I'm listening to understand what she's really feeling. So the question is, when she's telling me, oh, you know what, he's amazing, we have such a great time, but I'm really just not so sure about, let's say, hashkafa, that we're really the same on the religious front. So she's kind of just testing the waters, discussing religious and hashkafa, with the guy when she's dating him and seeing if that's working for her. So that's great, it's good. I like to say, don't break up with somebody unless you're 100% sure. So keep dating. That's what dating means. You're not committing to marrying them when you go on a third date, a fourth date, a fifth date. You're not committing to marrying them. But what you are doing is testing to see if this is good for you. As long as the intentions are still towards marriage and you're serious and not wasting his time or your time. So that's a whole other discussion. But for right now, I'm still analyzing from date to date, discussing it with her of how she's feeling. So I'm saying to her, and so are you having a nice time? Yeah, he's great, he's amazing. Oh, but I'm not so sure about this, and I'm not so sure about that. Okay, all right, so great. Do you want to continue dating? Yes. So the question is, what happens if he would say to you that he wants to end it? How would you feel? And so she would say something like, oh my gosh, I would be so upset. Okay, so that's an indicator that she actually is feeling emotionally connected to him and that she really is interested in dating him. She just needs to figure out if these technical things are working for her, just things that make sense to her, that they work in her life, and maybe sometimes it means meeting the family and meeting them and seeing if you feel comfortable in their family. It's not necessarily the most important thing because the person is the most important thing, but it is a factor. So maybe that's what she needs in order to feel more comfortable. Another thing about the religious level, the hashkafa level, And what happens if age is beyond her age range and she met him at a party and he's a little bit older than she had anticipated? How does she feel about that? So she might be saying, everything's amazing, except I'm not sure how I feel about that. So just analyzing how we feel about it and making it fit in our lives, in her life, means that she is making it part of her, and that she's saying it's okay, not just it's okay, it's amazing, I really like this guy. And then maybe having discussions about the age, maybe having discussions about moving a location because she really likes where she lives, but that's where he has to be for work. So going through this process is really important. And then once she's reached the point where everything sits well with her and she's happy with the guy she's dating, I tell her, okay, now let yourself fall in love. Let your emotions come out. Let yourself feel good about this relationship. Pull down, let the wall down, see how you feel emotionally. Are you feeling connected? Are you feeling physically attracted? Because until now she's set up these guards for herself because she just, will not feel safe if she if she brings them down. Then this is not the case for everybody, but for many people this is the case. So what I've dubbed this is growing in love versus falling in love. So she's growing in love because she's learning about the person, she's learning about everything. Does it fit in my life? She's growing to love him. But what she has to do before he pops the question, before the ring, she has to feel that she is emotionally connected. She has to make sure that she really feels attracted to this guy and that she has fallen in love in that Western sense. So I hope that if you are in this situation, you're able to identify if you're in the process of growing in love and allowing yourself then to fall in love. Happy dating.